Hi guys, hope yesterday went okay. If you haven't watched the video from yesterday, please do that before you watch this one because this is sort of a part two. This is function arithmetic again, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. So same as yesterday, but with either numerical values substituted in or algebraic expressions substituted in. As we go through this, I'm going to demonstrate the first problem twice, two different ways, to illustrate how usually there's what you might call a hard way to do this and an easy way to do it. Now I put that in quotation marks because difficult and easy is subjective. Different people have different opinions. So you'll just do it the way that makes the most sense to you, but I'm going to do it what I perceive as the easy way, except for this first problem. So what is going on here? We have two functions, g of x, f of x, very similar, but that's kind of irrelevant. But we're told to multiply g times f, so we did that yesterday, but instead of x, it says of 1. So let me show you the difficult way. G times f of x. So I'm going to do g times f. I'm going to do 4x minus 3 times 4x plus 4. And like yesterday, I need to FOIL this together. I'm going to get rid of that. So this is going to be 4x squared. No. 4 times 4 isn't 4. 4 times 4 is 16. 16x squared first. Outside is plus 16x. Inside is minus 12x. And last, negative 3 times positive 4 is negative 12. We have like terms right here. So 16x squared, 16 minus 12 is plus 4x minus 12. So everything that I just did is one of the things we went over yesterday. Now what about of 1? Now let me be clear. This does not mean times 1. So it's a different notation, function notation. That does not mean times 1. What it means is you're supposed to take this answer that you just got and plug in a 1 for the x's. Each x gets substituted with a 1. Then you need to work that out. So 16 times 1 squared plus 4 times 1 minus 12. That's 16 plus 4 minus 12. 20 minus 12, which gives you an answer of 8. So g times f of 1 means multiply g times f and then plug in a 1. And that's exactly what I did. Let me check the answer before I go back and redo it the easy, or maybe easier way. So 8, yes, we definitely got the right answer. Now, what is the easy way? Well, instead of multiplying g times f, then plugging in a 1, you can go ahead and plug in the 1 first. I did not mean to do that, I just want to draw an arrow. Plug in the 1 first. 4 times 1 minus 3, 4 times 1 plus 4. This works out to equal, what, 4 minus 3, which is 1. And this one works out to be 4 plus 4, which is 8. So this is g, this is f. We want to multiply g times f. 1 times 8 equals 8. And there's the answer. Same answer, of course, but a lot less work. So your choice is to do the operation first, then plug in the number, or plug in the number first, then do the operation. That second way, I think, is almost always going to be the easier way. So that's how I'm going to do the rest of my notes. So f minus g of 4. I'm going to plug in a 4 right here. 3 times 4 squared minus 2, which is 3 times 16 minus 2, which is 48 minus 2, 46. And then g of 4, so plug in a 4 here. 2 times 4 plus 1. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1, which is 9. Now I need to do f take away g. So f is 46. I'll write it over here. 46. Take away 9. 46 take away 9 is 37. And if you're using a calculator, I'm just doing mental math, trying to be quick about it. But if you're using a calculator, maybe even easier. What am I doing? I'm trying to check number 4. I got 37 right there. So no problem. Lots of scrolling up and down. I know what I did. I made this paper like 4 pages long, so you had plenty of room to write out each problem just in case you needed it. And that's why I'm scrolling so much. Okay, number 6. 2 times h plus 2 times g of -7. So you can multiply this times 2, you can multiply this by 2, then you can add them together, work it all out, and then at the end plug in a -7 and continue to work that out. Or plug in -7 first, which I think is better. 2 times -7 plus 2 is -14 plus 2, which is -12. And then the next one is going to be -7 squared plus 4, which is 49 plus 4, 53. Now we have to do 2 times -12 plus 2 times 53. I plugged in the 7, that's done. Now I'm just doing 2 times, and then plus. So what do I come up with? -24 here. 53 times 2 is 106. -24 plus 106. That's 106 minus 24 is 82. Answer to number 6 should be 82. And again, use a calculator if you need to for this busy work. But looks like we're doing well. Number 8. H plus g of 8. Plug in the 8. 4 times 8 plus 5. 4 times 8 is what? 32 plus 5, 37. Plug in an 8 here. 2 times 8 plus 5. 2 times 8 is 16 plus 5. That's 21. H plus g is going to be 37 plus 21. 30 and 20 is 50. 7 and 1 is 8. 58. And right there it is. I think there is one year, if you want me to reminisce a little, where I taught kids only to do it this way, and like the next day I showed them you could have done it a lot easier. I don't think it made them too happy, so I don't do it that way anymore. That must have been an algebra class though, because yeah, gotta mess with people. Okay, now find g divided by f of -x. So this time we need to plug in a variable, a variable expression. It's not just a variable, it's a variable expression. So you see the variable here is n. We're supposed to plug in a -x. You can plug in anything. We've been plugging in numbers up here, but the way functions work, anything can get substituted into the problem. So this is going to become, instead of -n plus 2, you see where this n is, I put parentheses. I'm going to write a -x in there. -x plus 2 becomes x plus 2. And for the next one, 2n cubed minus 5n squared. Both of those n's I left blank, and again I'm going to plug in a -x. So what is 2 times -x cubed? Well, let's just talk about -x cubed for a second, maybe down here. -x cubed means -x times -x times -x. When you multiply two negatives together, they turn positive, but when you take that positive times another negative, it goes negative again. X times x times x is x cubed. Now all of that is multiplied by 2. So if I multiply this by 2, I get -2x cubed. So -2x cubed minus 5 times -x squared. Let's talk about -x squared. When you square something, you multiply it by itself. -x times -x. Two negatives when you multiply make a positive, so that just becomes positive x squared. So this -x squared actually turns into a positive x squared. That negative is from right there. It just carried over. So that's too much highlighting. I got to get rid of that. Oh, I'll do it right one of these times. Here we go. So this is g of n once we've plugged in -x, and this is f of n when we've plugged in -x. Now we're supposed to divide them. So put a fraction bar. The answer to the first one goes on top. The answer to the second one goes on bottom. And that ought to be the answer. Let me scroll down to number 10 and make sure nothing bad happened. Oh, look at that. Perfect. Okay, so plugging in numbers, not so bad. Plugging in variable expressions, like negative x, takes a little more work. Let's look at number 12. H times g of x plus 2. So we could multiply those first, then plug in x plus 2. I'll tell you, that's going to be awful. That's going to be a lot of work. I'm going to go ahead and plug in x plus 2 first. So 3t plus 4. I take the t out, and I put x plus 2 in its place. Now to simplify this, I distribute 3x plus 6 plus 4. And then that becomes 3x plus 10. So there's the first part of the answer, h of t. Now we need to do g of t and plug in x plus 2. Well, that's just going to be x plus 2 plus 1. I'm taking this t out, and I'm going to put x plus 2 in its place. If you combine like terms, the plus 2 and the plus 1 become x plus 3. So now what we're supposed to do is multiply those results. 3x plus 10. Here, let me try to clarify this a little bit. H is now this. The dot for times is these two parentheses next to each other. Remember, that means times. And g, what I plug in right here, is going to be x plus 3 from right there. Okay, so now what do we do? If you said give up and go home, well, you're probably already home. If you said give up, you're wrong. We now need to FOIL this together. Ooh, wow, get shaky a little bit. 3x times x is 3x squared. 3x times plus 3 plus 9x. 10 times x plus 10x. 10 times 3 plus 30. Of course, there are like terms right here. So 3x squared plus 19x plus 30. That ought to be the answer to number 12. Let me scroll down and take a look. There it is. So yeah, kind of a lot of work there. Plugged in x plus 2 to both expressions first, simplified those, and then multiplied them together. All right, number 14. Similar kind of thing. It is a multiply problem. When all is said and done, we are going to be multiplying h times g, but we got to plug a negative 3x into both of these first. So the first one is 4 times negative 3x minus 2, which is negative 12x minus 2. The second one is 2 times negative 3x plus 2. 2 times negative 3x is negative 6x plus 2. That's what we need to multiply together. Negative 12x minus 2 times negative 6x plus 2. So now we FOIL. First, negative times negative is positive. 12 times 6 is 72x squared. Outside, minus 24x. Inside, plus 12x. Last, negative 2 times positive 2 is negative 4. These two terms can get combined. 72x squared. Negative 24 plus 12 is negative 12x minus 4. Unless I made a mistake, that should be the answer to number 14. Oh, there it is. All right, one more and we are done. And this one is a subtraction problem. So no more foiling, it's just subtraction. We need to make sure we plug that in here and here first. So first one, 3t minus 3. I'm going to plug negative 2a in there. 3 times negative 2 is negative 6a minus 3. That one is simplified. The next one's going to be a little bit more challenging. I need to plug in negative 2a, so it's negative 2a squared plus negative 2a, right? Both of these t's become negative 2a. Now, a little while ago, I talked about squaring. So what ultimately happens when you square a negative number? Negative 2 squared. Negative 2 times negative 2 works out to be positive 4. So when you square that, you get positive 4. And of course, that is a squared. And then plus negative 2a, right here, plus negative 2a, you can just write minus 2a. And there's the g. Now we are supposed to subtract these. F, negative 6a minus 3, take away g, 4a squared minus 2a. Have to distribute that negative sign, so you get negative 6a minus 3 minus 4a squared minus minus turns to plus 2a. Do I have any like terms? Yeah, I have a terms there. I'm going to start with a negative 4a squared. It's the highest power. Negative 6a plus 2a is negative 4a. And then bring down the minus 3. And that should be it. Let's look at number 16. Over here. Negative 4a squared minus 4a minus 3. There it is. Good. So, kind of like yesterday, but not really, because there's all this extra stuff you need to do. You need to plug in numbers and then work it out. And then you need to plug in variable expressions and then work it out. So, I tried to make the problems that you do be very similar to the problems I did. So if you get stuck on 13, you should look at 14 and it should help you out. You get stuck on number 12, number 11 should help you out. For the most part. I mean, maybe not 100%, but that's generally how this paper is going to go. So please do the odds. Show your work. Let me say that again. Show your work. Check it. Include the answer when you submit your homework. If you have questions, like always, email me or write in the comments. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Good luck. Talk to you later.